We are going to talk about the most dangerous places in the world. But before we start, can I ask for a favor? Can you please click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell to be updated with new videos? Thank you. The Institute for Economics and Peace publishes its Global Peace Index study every year. This is the only report of its type that assesses how dangerous or safe a country is based on 23 distinct indices, such as political terror, internal conflict deaths, and the murder rate. The ZPI report assesses 163 countries that collectively account for more than 99% of the world's population. The factors studied in the report are divided into three categories: ongoing conflict, militarization, safety, and security. This report was created using the following factors: number of internal and external violent conflicts, level of distrust, political instability, potential for terrorist acts, number of homicides, and military expenditures as a percentage of GDP. Based on these parameters, a score is produced for each of the 163 countries included in the report. The higher the score, the lower the country's safety rating is, or the more dangerous the country is. Each country is assigned one of 5 categories of peace: very high, high, medium, low, or very low. In this post, we'll look at countries with a very low level of peace. In comparison to the 2020 Global Peace Index, the 2021 report found 87 nations with improved security and 73 countries with worsening security. Between 2020 and 2021, the ZPI average deteriorated by 0.07%. Let us now discuss 5 of the world's most dangerous countries and why they are so dangerous. There are 13 countries with a very low level of peace, according to the Institute for Economics and Peace. These nations have a score of more than 2.9, and in comparison the safest countries on the planet have scores ranging from 1.1 to 1.438. Number 1, Afghanistan. Afghanistan is the world's most dangerous country, with a score of 3.631. From 2020 to 2021, Afghanistan remained in this position. Furthermore, Afghanistan has the largest number of conflict and terrorism-related deaths of any country on the planet.
Operation Eastern Storm follows 2 years of security gains in the former Taliban strongholds.
Number 2, Yemen. Yemen has dropped many places to become the world's second most hazardous country. Yemen, according to the UN, has the world's worst humanitarian disaster, with 4.3 million people forced to flee their homes and 14 million people at risk of famine and disease outbreaks after 5 years of fighting. Around 80% of Yemen's population, 24 million people, requires humanitarian aid.
Yemen has had more problems than any people.
Number 3, Syria. Syria is third among the most dangerous countries on the planet. Syria's civil war has been raging since March 2011, and it is the world's second deadliest war. 5.7 million people had fled Syria as of March 2019, with nearly 6 million internally displaced. Number 4, South Sudan. South Sudan is the 4th most dangerous country, with a score of 3.363. It is also the only country on this list that is not located in Asia but rather on the African continent. There is persistent violence, civil instability, and widespread violent crime in South Sudan, including robberies, assaults, carjackings, and kidnappings. Outside of the country's capital, Juba, armed warfare primarily persists between the government and rebel organizations, with little to no rule of law or order. Number 5, Iraq. Iraq has risen 2 places in the list of the world's most hazardous countries, from 3rd to 5th. Iraq is still beset by internal and external problems, including the threat of terrorist strikes. ISIS continues to kidnap and kill Iraqi civilians and military personnel. Other human rights breaches have persisted, such as violations of freedom of assembly and women's rights. U.S. citizens visiting Iraq are particularly vulnerable to violence and kidnapping, and are frequently targeted by anti-U.S. sectarian groups across the country. And that's the top 5 as the most dangerous country in the world, with a score ranging from 3.631 to 3.37, or a very low state of peace level. And one or the main reason for their inclusion on the list is because of the terrorist threats such as ISIS and Taliban groups. The countries mentioned are also very dangerous for women. Thank you and hope you enjoy.